we are starting a little late tonight, but never mind. We'll sort out our schedule and make sure that we're live with you. As I said earlier, we are expecting to be joined shortly by Mr. Garnet Edmondson. He is the CEO of RADA, and we're hoping to have him shortly on the program. Now, there is an issue. Welcome, YouTube. There's an issue in the news about the People's National Party. You see, they were criticizing the Prime Minister about the Prime Minister giving out houses and labeling them or something to that effect. I wonder if I can find it. I don't know why the People's National Party don't. By the way, let me say good night to my producer. Producer Caroline, how are you? Hello.
Good evening, neighbor. Good night, Rather. How are you?
Not too bad. How are you? You had a great day?
I'm doing great. Yes, I had a wonderful day.
How you managing the heat?
It's not so bad. This is Jamaica, neighbor. Are you Jamaican?
If I'm Jamaican?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am Jamaican.
Well, you should be used to it.
No, but don't you agree that climate change has caused us to be warming up a bit?
It has warmed up significantly. As a matter of fact, there are many places in the world, neighbor, right now that is probably experiencing somewhat of a drought. Yeah.
Well, thank you for tuning, coming on, and hope we have a great show. You looking out for Mr. Edmondson for me, please?
I will do my best.
Yes. Okay. All right. So
Yes.
I have a few little things to talk about. So I'll just talk about it in the meantime.
All right. Well, quickly, neighbor. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining. Please tap repost. It's important, listeners, that you send to me the heart me's. That's on TikTok. Please send me as much possible so that the algorithm will send out the live. And for those of you over there on YouTube, a very pleasant good evening and welcome to you as well. Give thumbs up as you join, and thank you for joining us. All right, neighbor, I know you're strapped for time.
Yeah.
So I'll talk with you later.
Sure. All right.
Listen to
the PNP. Listen to them.
From the People's National Party Media Unit. A home is not a billboard. And this practice of the government of dehumanizing individuals by placking their homes is just not right. So today I am condemning this practice of affixing permanent plaques bearing the Prime Minister's name to houses built under the new Hope social housing program. Honestly, this dehumanizing act that trades the dignity of poor Jamaicans for political promotion is just really wrong. Every Jamaican deserves a safe roof over their head, yes, but no Jamaican should have to pay for that roof with their privacy and dignity. A home is a place of refuge, pride, and peace. It is not and should never be a billboard. Yet that is exactly what this government has turned these homes into, a permanent advertisement announcing that the people inside were once in need. What a shame. When you put one person's name on a house that is actually paid for by all of us, you send a dangerous message. You tell struggling families that they should be personally grateful to an individual instead of being assured of their right as citizens. Worse, you mark them. You expose vulnerable mothers, children, and elders to stigma and public shame for the rest of their lives. That is not social protection. This is branding, political branding.
Visit our website at pnp.org.jm or check us out on Facebook at Jamaica PNP. The wing is a release.
All right. So you heard that. You heard that from the People's National Party, speaking about political branding. Now, I need a car, you know. And let me tell you something. If any one of you can buy me a car and you want your name on it, no problem. You want your name on the back, no problem. You want your name on the top, no problem. Anywhere upon it you want your name. I've never heard this absurdity. It is foolishness. Angela Brownberg. That is nonsense, man. I don't know if you know this. You see that when you buy a car, the company that you buy the car from gives you a license plate holder, and most of the time, the company brands the license plate holder with their name. Your car, you know, you buy it, yet they give you a license plate holder with their name on it. ATL, don't you drive a Honda? Huh? Now, let me ask you a question. If you don't live nowhere, and a man give you a house, and the man put up a little thing in the house saying, and give you the house, that's a problem to you. What is the greater indignity? That you get the house, you don't live nowhere, you live on a tarpaulin, and you are worried about branding house? Miss Brownberg, by the way, what happened to the Operation Pride houses? Why not brand those? Were those branded? Foolishness. The Prime Minister responded. Listen to him. Prime Minister had this response. Listen to him.
We cannot give taxpayers money in anonymity. Let me make that point clear. If you are going to benefit from taxpayers' fund, it cannot be anonymous. There has to be a record. There has to be oversight. We have to test that you deserve to get the funds over someone else who is equally or more in need. So we have to do means test. So when we build this and have this ceremony, and we say these units are now built and 5 of them, we're not taking away the dignity of the people. No, we're not taking away the dignity of anyone. The indignity is that they didn't have the house. The indignity is that they were living in cars and under trees and in structures that are about to collapse. It is the giving of dignity now when they get the house. And the pride is not just the pride of the beneficiary, it is the pride of the nation to know that your country, your state has used the taxpayers' funds in an accountable manner to raise the dignity of the people and to raise the dignity of the nation, one house at a time. We will not stand and allow falsehoods.
All right, yeah. So hold on there now. The opposition PNP is concerned, you see, that the dignity of people. Look at the PNP, the same PNP that was talking about the ball game of politics. You know what is the indignity? You know what is the indignity? The ball game of politics is the indignity. That is the indignity. The playing of the ball game of politics. Now you listen to the hypocritical opposition talking about indignity. You know, a man tell me, I am from the country, and a man tell me that people are using parachutes. Parachutes, you know what are parachutes? People are defecating in scandal bags. Tie them up and that is indignity. To have people living in those conditions and defecating in scandal bags and parachuting them down the gully side.
Misrepresentations, downright lies, and mischief to lead this country astray. This government is committed to communicate with the people of Jamaica on every issue, on every falsehood, and every false claim. We will be toe-to-toe responding. And we're going to step up our response as well, because some of what is said borders on inciting violence. Much of what is said is also illegal and unlawful under Jamaican law, and we intend to prosecute those persons who break the law in this.
You hear that? You hear the Prime Minister there, so? Well, I think many people should take note about that. But there's no indignity. There's no indignity in putting up a sign in a house for people to know that that was a gift from the taxpayers of Jamaica. No indignity at all. No indignity.
Asking everyone on YouTube to give us a thumbs up so that the live can go out, and also on TikTok. Could you please send a heart me, tap the screen and repost, please?
Right. There is no indignity there at all. And I think the PNP is clutching on absolute straws there, talking about indignity. Here's the Prime Minister in Halfway Tree. I found this to be quite interesting. The battle here that we are on and
we have been raising this concern for months. The government is simply not listening, has not listened, and is most uncaring. It is time for action. Modular homes are chattel. They can easily be affixed to any property.
The following is a release from the People's National Party media.
All right, that's not what I want. Producer, I'm a little bit. Are we getting the gentleman now? Because I'm almost at 13 to 9. Do I get him now? Check it out for me, please. Let me see what is happening over there. All right. So I wanted to play.
No, neighbor, you can continue.
Yeah, I don't want to start something and then I have to cut it in the middle, you know. All right. So the rural school bus service was hailed as a major success, and then all of a sudden we are hearing that one of the bus catch fire. Listen to Mr. Apka Fitzhenley hailing the rural school bus service.
The Jamaica Labour Party welcomes publications which indicate that 1 year after the implementation of the National Rural School Bus Program, it is getting high marks from school administrators, educators, and students who say it has delivered on its promise to make transportation safer, more affordable, and more dependable for thousands of students. The Rural School Bus Program is part of the Jamaica Labour Party administration's commitment to delivering safer, dependable, and more affordable transportation for our nation's children. The feedback in the publication where parents, school administrators, and students
okay, let's go back to that.
Describe the impact of the program as tremendous and beneficial to them is encouraging. Even as work continues to improve the rural school bus program, commendations are due to Minister Vaz, who championed this initiative and indeed the cabinet of Prime Minister Holness, which signed off on the program. The program is evidence that the Jamaica Labour Party government is not merely prepared to talk about creating safer and more affordable transportation for our students. It's evidence that we are willing to act and deliver on that conviction and policy position. The tremendously positive feedback concerning the impact of the program also serves as a reminder that politically partisan rhetoric should have no place in conversations about our nation's children. And I make that point because one of the low points of last year was when prominent opposition spokespeople, Mark Rowling, Peter Bunting, and Nikhil Phillips, took to the political platform to lambast the program. I recall Bunting and Golding denigrating the buses as old and ostensibly seeking to scaremonger by saying that the buses would kill off our children. That was unfortunate rhetoric by the opposition, which should be condemned. The fact is, Minister Vaz and his team did the competent research, and the program has indeed enumerated to the benefit of important stakeholders, including our students.
Yeah, so that's the government senator, Abka Fitzhenley, saying that the program is evidence that Minister Vaz and the government of Prime Minister Holness do not just merely talk about creating safer and more affordable transportation, but have taken action and delivered on that conviction and policy position. But having gotten that success, just this week, one of the buses caught
The following is a release.
and here is the PNP on
The
that.
following is a release from the People's National Party Media Unit.
We are relieved that no one was injured as the incident took place during the summer break. The government must satisfy the public that all units will be checked, maintained, and are roadworthy for the new school year in just over a month's time. While we appreciate the need for a full investigation of the cause or causes of the fire, part of the justification for the high price of the units was that the supplier would be maintaining the buses to guarantee safety and maximum fleet availability. The fire destroyed one of the units yesterday that has raised serious questions about the existence of effective maintenance. We are calling for an urgent update from the Minister of Transport, Honorable Darrell Vaz, on the state of the maintenance contracts with El Hydro Limited, which supplied the 110 U.S. retired school buses to the government of Jamaica a year ago. It should be noted that all units are not parked in JUTC depots. The question therefore arises, how often are these off-site buses checked and maintained? And is it in accordance with the company's standard maintenance program for high-use units? Maintenance of the buses should be a high priority for all school buses under the government school bus program.
Visit our website at PNP.
Now, I think you know that something may be at play here. Now, I'm not here suggesting that PNP set the bus on fire. Months ago, the Jamaica Urban Transit Company released footage of a man boarding two, on separate occasions, JUTC buses and setting them afire. The JUTC held a press conference and the JUTC released pictures of the man setting two of the JUTC buses afire. Now, is that man of unsound mind? Why would someone deliberately set a government bus on fire? Why? Well, the JUTC is offering $1 million for information leading to the arrest of that man. In light of the success of the rural school bus service, hailed all across the island as being remarkably successful. Just after that, we hear that one of the bus catch fire. How comes? I think we should be very careful not to jump to conclusions, but we have to keep our eyes open, because sabotage is real. And especially when we are hearing that the ball game of politics is being played, we ask that the police and the authorities conduct thorough investigations to ascertain how this bus just catch fire. So, very interesting. Talk Your Mind Thursday is on, and therefore the people have the floor. Producer, you could open the lines and let the listeners come up and talk their minds. I don't know who is in the chat, but we are 3 minutes to 9 o'clock and we are in the Talk Your Mind Thursday show. So listeners, if you want to have a say, tonight is your night. We can go right ahead with you. Good night to you, caller. Good night to you. Hello? Hello? Nothing from that caller. Scratchy, you're on Talk Your Mind. What's on your mind?
Blessed night, yeah, bro. I'm here, Caroline night. Yours and everyone. Blessed night.
Yeah, man. What's on your mind, Scratchy? What you have been heard for you a while? Talk your mind.
No, I'm just checking.
Asking everyone to tap the screen, repost the live, send the heart me's, and YouTube, please, we're asking you to press that X at the top and to just give us the thumbs up. Thank you so much.
Yes, Scratch.
Yeah, man, so just checking in, man. And Caroline sent me the request, I'm sure you'll come up for me or go on, you know?
Okay. Now, Scratchy, there is a matter here. And the Prime Minister the opposition was saying that the people who are getting these social houses, that their dignity is being, crushed by the Prime Minister putting an insignia or something like that up there. What do you think about that?
Neighbor, one of the greatest accomplishment that they say that one can have in life, neighbor, one can ascertain in life, neighbor, is owning a home. And I can't say, you are trampling on someone's dignity, neighbor, when what you're giving them is 100 times better than what they had.
That you're trampling on their dignity by lifting their dignity.
Exactly. So I think the Prime Minister is more lifting the dignity of these people, neighbor. And I can tell you about that. We have seen most of the presentation with these social houses, neighbor. And all we have seen, neighbor, is some very, very some moment, neighbor, where persons are very, up in their feeling, persons feel good about it, neighbor. Persons get emotional, you see persons crying. We even see persons make speech and give written speech or year to year. Any of these recipient neighbor come out and say that their dignity were trampling upon. How can you, neighbor? I'm not going to disrespect anyone, but we say, you know, value $1 million, you get a house that value up to $10 million, you're going to say that your dignity was trampled on, and you get a $10 million gift free of cost.
Let me ask you a question, Scratchy. You're a man that love Benz. If a man buy you a Benz and tell you, say, why, you know, Scratchy, the only thing I want is for my name to be on the Benz. You have a problem with that?
Never. If it's a person buy the Benz, there's nothing wrong with that, neighbor. And when the government do this, neighbor, remember there are certain terms and there are certain conditions that come with the social housing. So
it is taxpayers' money, sir.
It is taxpayers' money, neighbor. Once it is taxpayers' money, neighbor,
and the people living in there need to know that it's taxpayers give them.
Exactly. And once it's taxpayer money, neighbor, it have to be monitored. It have to make sure, neighbor, that it is kept in a way where, neighbor, where taxpayers don't feel cringe and say, I don't want to support this housing program because look how we give the people in the house and look at those they mash down and rare. So there have to be some form of binding contract, but I don't see it as trampling upon any dignity, neighbor. When people give out whatever social aid and put them face and them name on it, neighbor, that is trampling upon dignity.
Yeah.
But not to the man a house, neighbor. You can't give a man a house and jump upon dignity.
Not at all, absolutely. Then the whole matter of the rural school bus service, Scratch, it's been a remarkable success. But just after the first year of the buses being rolled out, we are learning of the first incident. Seems a bit awkward, not true?
Neighbor, this is the next thing again, neighbor. I don't know, but every single program, policy, or whatever the government has brought forward, neighbor, some form of attack has come from the position in regards to it, neighbor. Something that was so important as the rural school bus system, something, neighbor, where we know rural side of Jamaica is, neighbor, in terms of the terrain and the movements of students from point A to point B in the morning and evening and back and forth and stuff like that. Yeah, some schools, neighbor, Homewood, and other schools, neighbor, every year we are used to hearing about, neighbor, accidents involving these students where it was like, till one time person starts say it's like some form of sacrifice, neighbor, based on all these accidents were being occurring so regular, neighbor, where here students, 2-3 students were losing their life, neighbor, as a result of road accident, neighbor, in terms of the vehicle that was transporting these students. So when the government crafted the whole rural bus system, wonderful program, but it still managed, neighbor, to come under some form of scrutiny from the opposition People's National Party. Now we see where one of the buses might have caught fire. And we know a lot of talk about because say it's because of the age of the vehicle or whatever, a whole bus the government buy and stuff like that, neighbor. We know vehicle thing, neighbor, and any vehicle, if not brand new vehicle, can catch fire, neighbor. Anything can go wrong, mishap, neighbor, in terms of fire. And 1 out of 100, neighbor, is not something that I will scrutinize. I say that all the buses are at fault, neighbor. If 1 out of 100 caught fire. So for argument's sake, neighbor, and to be safe, for technical reason, whatever technical reason, or mechanical reason, or electrical reason, but it's just baseless, neighbor. The People's National Party is just trying to just hold back Jamaicans and trying to keep Jamaicans, neighbor, in a high level of poverty. High level, neighbor, where we don't reach the level of first class status and stuff like that, because well, these buses are brand new, neighbor. This is Jamaica. Most of the vehicles in Jamaica, neighbor, are not brand new vehicles. And when you want to go up on a mart and take it off, it's not a 2026 vehicle, it's not brand new, you know? So, we have to understand and let's know, so the rural school bus system, one of the biggest game changer, neighbor. And I think at first, when it was being introduced, a lot of parents, neighbor, didn't have any appreciation for it. And I think that now, neighbor, they are now reaping the reward, neighbor, because they see they are saving. Because as I mentioned, it used to cost, even your parents said, neighbor, it was costing her like $800 a day just the transportation back from home to school and from school back to home for her child. And if that parent should have 3 children going to school, neighbor, that's $2,400 a week in just transportation fee alone. The rural bus system is $100 for the whole day back and forth. That's a dramatic decrease, neighbor. So this government let people save money in every single way, because Jamaicans, neighbor, is not a country where we budget or where we have certain value, neighbor, for money. We see these simple things as nothing, because we don't budget, okay, so all right then. You save $5,000 a week, People now poses, people now really look into it and say, well, the government, let me say 5,000 a week. They don't look at things that way, neighbor, because how to make a culture is how to spend because of spending sake. But the rural bus system, neighbor, game changer. And I think the parents are now more appreciative of it, neighbor, more than ever.
You know, you remember a man by the name of Patrick Anderson, sir, from RGR? Scratchy? Hello?
Yes, neighbor, you hear me?
Yeah. Do you remember a man by the name of Patrick Anderson?
Yes, I believe he was at Easy Sports News.
Yeah. Listen here. A man sent me this piece of tape from Mr. Anderson.
The government in Jamaica. He will lead the people to 26 margin. And work is showing me, and the statistics are tilted just a bit. My studies, my research, my work is showing me, and the statistics have pointed to this outcome that I am predicting for the elections on September 3. At worst, a 37 to 26 margin, and at best, a 39 to 24 seat margin. Mark Dolan will form the next government in Jamaica. He will lead the People's National Party to victory and form the next government. That's how I see it. We'll see how it matches up with the elections on Wednesday, September 3. I will be live streaming and we'll be taking you through the results, just as the seats are called, saying, is this a surprise? Is this not a surprise? And we will be with you until the elections are called. So until then, be well. Predicting for the elections on September 3. At worst, a 37 to 26 margin, and at best, a 39 to 24 seat margin. Mark Dolan will form the next government in Jamaica. He will lead the People's National Party to victory and form the next government. That's how I see it. We'll see how it matches up with the election.
Now, you know, Scratchy, this man has disappeared. Scratchy, this man has disappeared since the election. All of a sudden, you can't find Patrick Anderson. Patrick Anderson came out before the election to predict. Scratchy, when I somebody sent this piece of tape to me and said, the ball game of politics, neighbor, the ball game of politics. They sent out people before the election to predict a Mark Golding victory. Did you hear it?
Yes, neighbor, I did hear it, neighbor, and I think they put him behind the scene down there because he has something to put in his mouth, verbal diarrhea again. Another one of the PNP neighbor, another one of the PNP surrogates, neighbor, would have sent out, neighbor, 2-3 days before election, neighbor, to kind of muddy the field to make it look like the PNP is advancing, to kind of skew the minds of voters, who might want to vote for Jamaica Labour Party to say, okay, since a man like Patrick Anderson on TV and say, I really I say this, they said to go vote then. And to push PNP and give PNP that confidence to want to go more to the post. So definitely, neighbor, Patrick Anderson, neighbor, one of those guys, I haven't seen him from that, neighbor. I don't hear back from Patrick Anderson or see back from that, neighbor. And I don't think
the man came out and ruined his career for the party. But Scratchy, I've been doing some work behind the scene on this ball game of politics. And I don't know if you were listening last night when we went all the way back to Mr. Siaga. The ball game of politics that the PNP speaks about is a real thing, Scratchy. And wasn't it used to devastating effect against Siaga, Golding, and now, right now, against this current Prime Minister? The ball game of politics?
Definitely, neighbor. PNP, neighbor, is only political organization in Jamaica, neighbor, where whenever they're in power, neighbor, they use arms, neighbor, the state, neighbor, to push their political agenda. And this is what the People's National Party has been doing. That is why the People's National Party won 4 consecutive elections, neighbor, because they infiltrated all of these arms of government, neighbor. They put in their people in there, neighbor, and they work off of the agenda of the People's National Party rather than the agenda of the whole country upon a wholesome level. So definitely, but that has always been the agenda of the People's National Party. And that is why it is so difficult for them to win election now, neighbor. Because all the things, neighbor, that used to aid PNP in winning an election, neighbor, those things is either they are no longer around, or they don't have any form of power now, or they don't have any form of relevancy in this new society. So the People's National Party, neighbors, always play the political football, neighbor. They use the political force, neighbor, to their own advantage, neighbor, whenever it is coming to election time. Take a constituency like a West Kingston, neighbor. The People's National Party, neighbor, they knew how strong West Kingston was, neighbor, how powerful West Kingston was and dominant for the Jamaica Labour Party. In the time, neighbor, while the PNP targeted Tivoli Garden in particular, and like a person from the outside might be saying that, yes, it's because of criminality and stuff like that. But it was much more deeper than that, neighbor. It was a political strategy by the People's National Party, neighbor, to demonize and to try to downplay and get and to weak West Kingston, Tivoli Garden in particular, because anyone, neighbor, a lot of persons who are listening now in the chat, a lot of persons who are in the chat can tell you, neighbor, that the impact that Tivoli Garden had, neighbor. I'm not talking about the negative impact. I talk about in terms of sports, in terms of music, in terms of our culture, our way of life, entertainment. The impact that Tivoli Garden had across the length and breadth of Jamaica, neighbor. The impact was so far-reaching, neighbor, that I can tell you, neighbor, that if Tivoli Garden wasn't disrupted, I can tell you, neighbor, that the Jamaica, a lot of these communities now that are strong PNP communities from a long time, neighbor, the PNP had to intervene, neighbor, because the PNP was losing their dominance on these communities, neighbor.
Oh?
The PNP was losing their dominance. A lot of these people in this PNP community, neighbor, were looking towards West Kingston, Tivoli Garden in particular, and saying that this is a direction, this is what we like, the music, the fanfare, and the connection that we're building, neighbor, and the influence that West Kingston was having in a lot of PNP dominated constituency and community, neighbor. It killed the PNP. It gave the PNP when they want to go to the political book, neighbor, and say that we have to find a way to dismantle West Kingston because of the impact that West Kingston is not having on Jamaica for the whole. But the People's National Party itself, neighbor, the power of the PNP was dwindling, neighbor, and it was leaning towards West. Neighbor, I come from West Kingston, I can tell you something I've hide. Neighbor, if when Anna Town, which is a predominant PNP community, neighbor, I can tell you, neighbor, that if certain things never happened, Anna Town would have been a Jamaica Labour Party community right now. That's the direction that Anna Town was going, neighbor.
What you saying to me?
PNP was very scared of that. Yes, neighbor, that is why, neighbor, you think it's just because of rare about criminals, those criminals, they are every community in Jamaica. West Kingston, they have no different in terms of criminal than every other community. It was the vibes of the place, it was the cultural aspect. The Premier League.
You mean the advancement of the community? They were envious of it.
They were envious of it, neighbor. And not only were they envious of it, neighbor, it was having a rippling effect, neighbor, and supporters within their own communities, neighbor. Where they saw that stronghold PNP neighbors were in support of this community, wanted to be like this community. If a dance was keeping in this community, neighbor, persons who live in all of this stronghold community, neighbor, all of them used to go down there. All of them used to march go down there. The PNP saw this, neighbor. The PNP saw the impact that this community had, neighbor, and the power that this community had, neighbor, in shaping the political narrative of Jamaica, neighbor, to support the Jamaica Labour Party, and they had to intervene.
Oh my God.
They had to create a ploy, neighbor. They had to create a plot. It had to break down. It couldn't continue. It could not continue, neighbor. Because a lot of these communities, and I'm not talking about just the carpet here, neighbor. I'm talking across the length and breadth of Jamaica. Neighbor, West Kingston is so dominant in this political ball game where I can tell you, neighbor, that every single constituency across the length and breadth of Jamaica have somebody who originates from West Kingston living there right now.
Say that again.
Every single constituency across the length and breadth of Jamaica, neighbor, have someone in that constituency who's living there right now. who is from West Kingston. Neighbor, West Kingston was like the epicenter for the Jamaica Labour Party, neighbor. West Kingston was a constituency that others looked on and said, we want to be like West Kingston. Neighbor, the two biggest dance that was keeping in Jamaica, and the two biggest weekly event that was keeping in Jamaica was keeping in West Kingston.
What the name of them? What the name of them?
Passa in Tivoli Gardens.
Is that
Dirty Friday in Fletcher's Land?
Is that still on? Passa?
No, neighbor, not to the level that it was. No. The PNP has succeeded, neighbor, in damaging the cultural aspect of the constituency.
Dirty Friday.
So it's no longer that vibrant, neighbor.
So what was?
PNP was afraid of that little small community.
What you saying to me, sir? Oh gosh.
That little community, neighbor, and the impact that community had on Jamaica, neighbor. Tivoli Garden are the two biggest entertainment events, Passa and Dirty Friday. Tivoli Garden, neighbor, West Kingston, West Kingston had a football team in terms of the Tivoli Garden Premier League. This was just a look normal team. This was a team that was winning Premier League titles. West Kingston had one of the best basketball team. Tivoli Garden basketball team was winning titles. Tivoli Garden netball team was winning titles. Tivoli Garden drumming neighbor is getting gigs overseas. Caribbean Islands, all about funeral across the length and breadth. Neighbor, it was a cultural epicenter, neighbor, downtown Kingston. It was a constituency, neighbor, that they envied. It was a constituency, neighbor, that even the people who live, the people them started to look on the member of parliament, the PNP, MP, and say, why we can't be like Tivoli?
Oh my God.
That is what the people used to look on them and say, why we can't be like Tivoli? Why is Tivoli this? Why we can't be like Tivoli? Neighbor, they had to destroy it, neighbor. They had to damage it, neighbor, because I can tell the neighbor that if PNP never did what they did, from 2007 till now would have been a power.
My God.
Scotchy, neighbor, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we have our guest, so I will exit.
No problem.
Oh, hold on, Scratchy. Don't move. Don't move. Who do we have? Moderator. I think we're having a little bit of a problem loading. I think we're having a little bit of a problem loading here. Hello. All right. So we're expected to be. Oh my goodness! I think he's gone. I think we're expected to be joined by the Chief Executive Officer of the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA. We're expected to be joined by RADA. What a fascinating discussion we were having. Good evening to you. Good evening to you, Mr. Edmondson. Oh, there's a feedback. Producer, can you?
Like we're having some challenges.
Yes, can you correct the feedback for me, please? How are you, sir?
Live.
Mr. Edmondson, are you there? Yeah, I'm hearing him quite well. He's not hearing me so good. We're hoping to be joined here by
Hello?
Mr. Edmondson. How you doing? Are you hearing me, sir? I'm hearing you quite well.
Yes, hello.
You're hearing me now, sir?
You're hearing me now, sir? I'm hearing you quite well. Yes, hello.
But I don't know what. I think you probably have me speaking to a device, something there. There's a feedback.
Yeah, there's something giving a feedback.
It's on your end, though. All right. I tell you what. Moderator, you have to see if you can sort out this. I think probably he's listening over his car radio or something to that effect. But we're having a feedback. Want to talk to Mr. Edmondson? Are you there now, sir? working on the call. I'm not so sure what is happening, but the feedback is poor. Want to talk a little bit about the Denbigh Agricultural Show that is on this weekend. Of course, the whole matter of food security is there too. The matter of imports and local production. I was in the Coronation Market some time ago, and there are some questions there also. And there is a little bit of confusion too about the backyard farming that we wanted to discuss with Mr. Edmondson, the man in charge of RADA. Agriculture is such an important feature of our economy. As a matter of fact, I believe that agriculture can grow this economy by 4 or 5% if we get it right. And would love to reconnect with Mr. Edmondson on this Thursday evening. So I'm not so sure what is happening with the connection, but we are hoping to join Mr. Edmondson soon. In the meantime, I was talking with Scratchy about the PNP's ball game of politics and how this ball game has affected the development of Jamaica. He was telling us about Tivoli Gardens and how Tivoli Gardens was a booming constituency, and politics got involved. And you know the result of that. Fascinating stuff. Well, in the meantime, producer, let me get someone else now, so that we could keep the conversation going. There are lots of people up online here. Let's see what's happening. Who can we get in the meantime? Who can we get in the meantime? Huh? I'm not so sure. Harry? Oh, nobody there? Well, not so sure what is happening. Good evening to you, Harry. Miles? Hi. Hello? Good evening, sir. Hello? Oh, for Christ's sake, man. Guys, you mean say you are... Hello, Mr. Hello, Harry? You are in a box and you don't know that you're up here. God. Anyway, all right. Let's get back scratchy now. Okay, let's talk to Honeybee in the meantime. Good evening, Honeybee. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening to you, Honeybee. Hi. No, she's off. What's happening? I'm not so sure what's happening, but we're having a little bit of problems. In the chat. Talk to me, producer. Let me know what's happening now, so that I can know whether or not I'm to keep waiting or something. Or you keep disconnecting. I don't know what's disconnecting the people. Scratchy. Oh, he's back.
All right, so I'm back. Yes.
Mr. Edmondson is back. Hello.
Yes, I am.
Good evening to you, sir. How are you?
Not too bad. Let me apologize for the challenges we had earlier.
No problem, man. We can work that through. All right. Mr. Edmondson, you are the CEO of RADA, right?
I am.
Yes. This year's theme for for Denbigh is what? Tell us about the theme.
All right, so this year our 1 second. Let me just pull up because I now have you off my headset and I'm driving over to Denbigh. So allow me to just pull off.
Not a problem. Okay, so we have online the Chief Executive Officer of the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, Mr. Garnet Edmondson. And of course, you know that the rural that Denbigh is a major show happening at this time of the year, and we have the RADA CEO with us to talk about that and some other things. He's just taking a minute or two to make sure that he's parked properly, and then he will talk to us. Yeah. All right. So are you there now, sir?
Yes, I'm here. So
yes, tell us about the theme. Tell us about the theme for this year.
Okay. So we align. There are two teams that we're working with. We are focused on the RADA team under the umbrella of the Jamaica Agricultural Society. Of course, you'd have known that the show is really in the control of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, while RADA plays an active role in terms of our extension service delivery. So this year we are pushing technology in agriculture.
Very good.
Now, a number of the displays that we will carry in our RADA booth, and I'm speaking for RADA now, our RADA booth will be aligned with technology in agriculture.
Yes.
Let me start out with our most famous piece of tech is our mobile application. Now, we have done a number of upgrades on our mobile application. The farmers can seek audience with their extension officers and also our technical teams via the mobile app.
Yes.
They can also view plant pest and disease on the mobile app. They can now sign up for benefits on the mobile app. So let us say that we are giving out agriculture inputs. A registered farmer can sign up for their benefits via the mobile app. So there are a number of benefits to the having the mobile app. Now, what we are using now to complement our mobile app is what we call our National Agriculture Management System. Now, there were times when you'd hear of the great glut with tomatoes, scallion, onion, Irish potatoes, right across the length and breadth of Jamaica. What we are aiming to do with this National Agriculture Management System is that we'd have employed data entry officers right across 14 parish offices. These data entry officers, their sole responsibility is to upload in our database what farmer is planting, the stage at which the crop is. Now, with our AI component, the system calculates the date of production, and we keep watching all the production across Jamaica. That now helps our marketing team. It helps our production team. We can advise farmers better. We can say, hey, Tom Brown in Manchester, don't plant any tomato now because St. Elizabeth is already doing the total island consumption. We can say to them, hey, we are seeing where we don't have enough watermelon, enough cucumbers. So cucumbers is a crop that you can go into right now and you will have good returns. So it is a tool that will help us both from a production level and from a marketing level. So that is another that we have just put out to our farmers. Another tool that we have put out that is we consider very good is our MPA, the Member of Parliament Agriculture Data Explorer. There was a time when the Member of Parliament would have to seek audience with the parish managers or our extension officers to know what is happening in their constituencies. That time is far gone. Each Member of Parliament now have their unique ID login for their constituency, and they can go on through our AB system, see all what is happening in their constituency, see the roads that RADA is doing in terms of, because we do build farm roads, see the production level, see the type of investment, see how their CDF money is spending in their constituency, quite a bit of information, the whole geographical profile, the whole agricultural profile of their area, the number of farmers, the demographics, of these farmers. They can have a full data set. There's a full data set there for them to view. So the aim of this is to make sure that we build out active communication with our Member of Parliament, because we do believe that all stakeholders should contribute to agriculture development in Jamaica. So we are very proud of this application. There's another app that we have launched that we have put on. The minister will launch that. I want persons to tune in at Denbigh for that. We are quite proud of this app also. Another area that we'll be touching in Denbigh is our drone technology.
Oh.
We learned after
Melissa.
It wasn't Melissa, it was Beryl. Sorry. After Beryl, a number of our farming communities were cut off. And luckily, we had bought some drones. And those drones were to map our lands and to see what production was out there. Use those drones to actually do surveillance of the damaged area. And we then said to ourselves, we learned from Beryl that we'd have to buy more drones. So we bought more drones. And just immediately after this storm, we'd have deployed all of our drones, and we could be able to say how much damage was out there, which parish had the most damage, and all of that. And we could pull that data set in and use it to manage our recovery effort. So now we have launched an even bigger drone program. At least 6 of our parish offices have now sprayer drone, fertilizer drones that will help our farmers to minimize their production cost, because to have labor go into the fields to spray or to apply fertilizer, it takes a lot, and also not only labor costs, but it is quite labor intensive. So we'll be showcasing those technologies at Denbigh.
Very good.
The other area that we'll be looking at Denbigh is our mini lecture series. We have recognized that a number of farmers traverse the grounds at Denbigh and also to get into farming. So what we did, we have designed mini lecture series. Some of these will talk about the development of your farm. Some will talk about backyard gardening. That is quite a topical issue these days, and I will elaborate more on that in a short while. Ruminant, we'll talk about greenhouse technology. We'll demonstrate. We'll talk about hydroponics. So a host of information in these 15 minutes lecture series. We make them as compact as possible. Now, persons can always, we have our team there that would offer additional advice, and also if persons want to book appointment with our extension officers, they will be there after the lecture, so they can always, freely speak to them about
Yeah. So those are new innovations that you will be introducing at Denbigh. So people coming to Denbigh in 2026 will not walk away as the old years, but they will be introduced to these new technologies, the farmers and those interested in agriculture. That's what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh. So what would you say, Mr. My friend? Is the difference between this year's show and that of last year? What is the difference?
All right. So the difference last year, we at our corporate booth, we did almost the same display that our parish booths would be doing. Each year we would display almost the same thing. So this year we tried to be more corporate in what we're doing from the leadership of the organization.
Uh-huh.
What a corporate booth would look like, the policy push, where we want agriculture to go. So you won't come in our booth and see anything looking like a physical tomato plant or a, watermelon or coconuts or anything. You won't see that. What you will see is largely digital display and a whole information of where we are pushing agriculture to go in the next 10 to 15 years. We are pushing the adoption of technology, or we can use technology to make agriculture more attractive to young people, where we can bring more young people into agriculture so we can create that next set of farmer that is going to bring us into food security.
Fantastic. Fantastic,
Right.
fantastic. Sorry. Now let me move you a little, because I know you probably have limited time, but you just mentioned the whole matter of food security, and each year Jamaica continues to import billions of dollars worth of food annually. What do you believe realistically we can do to produce more of what we need over the next 5 years?
All right, let me just say, one of the first thing I must say is that the government of today has spared no effort to invest in agriculture.
You are saying that this government has invested a lot in agriculture?
A lot in agriculture.
This minister in particular?
This minister, this government.
Oh.
Yes, I've invested a lot.
Uh-huh.
And that is the first sign. Every developed country, right across from America to China, Canada, their agriculture is key in terms of government investment. So
yes, in some countries there are subsidies, the large industrial countries.
We do have subsidies here.
We can get to that. But go ahead, Mr. Ed.
Right. So the thing is now is that is a clear sign of what is needed, the government intervention. Now, the other aspect for agriculture to grow is that we need to develop our research facilities.
Yes.
Our universities, University of West Indies, UTech, all the universities across Jamaica need to get into agriculture and into agriculture programs. When you visit Canada, and I use Canada for example because I'm quite familiar with Canada's education, most of their universities have some sort of research going on in agriculture. We need to do the same. The other thing that we have to look at now is land use. What lands are used to develop
a little bit of glitch in Mr. Edmondson's line there. I hope that he can sort that out and come back up. we're talking to the CEO of RADA, Mr. Garnet Edmondson. Of course, Denbigh is on this weekend. And
facility. We
not hearing him at all, but he's suggesting that RADA is introducing applications that farmers can coordinate better in terms of produce and production. Mr. Edmondson is now talking about the investment of the government in agriculture. He's saying that this government has invested particularly in agriculture, but he's asking for greater research in agriculture and things like that. We lost it. We lost him. I hope we can get him back. Producer, see if you can get back Mr. Edmondson there for me. 20 minutes to 10 o'clock. The Politics Matter Jamaica Network. Hello Neighbor Show is on with you until 10 o'clock. Very, very interesting. Eh? I wanted to ask Mr. Edmondson a little bit more about food security, and of course, what is RADA doing to help the farmers in terms of financing. There are some policies. Hello, Mr. Edmondson, you're back. Hello.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Yes, Mr. You were speaking about the research that is needed, especially at the tertiary level.
Yes.
Yep.
So
go ahead.
I was saying that I think our universities need to be be involved in agriculture research. And I mentioned also storage facilities, and I mentioned those that have been built out by this government, particularly in St. Elizabeth, and also storage facilities that are across some of our agriculture parish offices. The other area that I think for us to be successful that we must pay some attention is agro-processing.
Oh, yes.
Right? When you travel abroad and you see, well, you don't have to travel. You see the preserved products that are on our supermarket shelves, and you recognize you can preserve your mangoes. You can have mangoes all year round. Your pineapples all year round. So agro-processing is very important, and that is where a large sum of the return on your investment is.
Mr. Edmondson, climate change continues to affect farmers throughout droughts. Right now, there is a drought on the island, and there are times when you have heavy rainfall. What is RADA doing to help farmers become more resilient?
All right. So, of course, the first thing I would say to you is that we are quite big on our extension education. That's the best gift we can give any farmer. That's the best subsidy we can give any farmer in terms of educating them.
What is the response from the ground? What is the response? What is the feedback from these extension officers about how people are receiving
Our extension officers are well-trained technical persons, and they are very happy with what they do. They are quite in tune. They understand that their role is very important in the development of Jamaica. So they go out every day to make sure that our farmers continue to produce, our farmers are educated. So I just want to come back a little bit about the drought, because I hope farmers are listening, because we want to say to our farmers that they have to stay tuned with what RADA is doing and what RADA is, the advisory that we are issuing, because we are heading into very serious dry season.
Yes.
And already we'd have started to put in place the mechanisms to help our farmers, such as ponds, digging ponds, the black tanks, the irrigation technologies, the mulching. So quite a number of strategies that are.
So you are saying, Mr. Edmondson, that as we experience this heat, I saw a lady with some sweet peppers in the Coronation Market recently, and they all burn up. The heat that is on. You're saying that RADA, what is RADA doing to help the farmers through this period?
So yes, as I was saying, one, we are educating our farmers how to be prepared and how to deal with it, such as putting in their water system, their irrigation system. The irrigation system means our pond, we will help them to dig ponds, because of course we have those equipment that help them to dig ponds, to harvest rainwater and other available water supplies. We have also been distributing irrigation equipment to help them. One of the main techniques that we would have employed is to teach them about the requirements of each plant, because actually every single crop you see out there, we do educate our farmers on the amount of water that the crop will use over its entire life.
What you saying to me?
So, yes, man. So, time gone when a farmer just put out that sprinkler and sprinkle, wet up the place. We are saying no. If some plant require maybe around 3 millimeters of water per day, and you don't have to go wetting the soil. The soil do hold water in a lot of cases, depending on the soil type. When you apply mulch, the mulch do hold the water in the soil, so those roots will absorb from the soil. So you don't need to be wetting every day. And a lot of times farmers wet lands and feel that they are doing proper irrigation, and you are causing erosion. You are allowing the nutrients to be depleted from the soil. A number of things happen. So education is one of the most important.
Yeah. Were you a teacher, Mr. Edmondson? Were you a teacher?
I was.
I could tell, I could tell by how thorough you are. I don't want to be rushing you, Mr. Edmondson, but I could tell by how you answer the questions and how you structure your answers. But let me ask you this. I may be taking you back a little, but on the matter of technology, we have artificial intelligence, drones, and precision agriculture. These things are transforming farming globally. How quickly do you think that Jamaica is adopting to these technologies? And you said earlier that this will be introduced at Denbigh this year. How are we adopting to the technological aspect of our agriculture?
Yeah, man, our farmers are adapting.
Yes.
Our farmers are adapting. They are adapting to precision agriculture. They are adapting to our climate smart agriculture. I tell you something. If I have 100 greenhouses tomorrow morning, you could not move from Montego Bay to Kingston fast enough to get one of those greenhouses.
What you saying to me?
Yes.
So why is it that we're not introducing more of them then? So since the demand is so great.
We are. We just do not get the opportunity to advertise as how we want. Because as soon as we put out the advertisement on greenhouses, they're taking up.
What you say to me?
Yes. In terms of hydroponics technology, our farmers are big into it. We have hundreds of acres of hydroponics right across the length and breadth of Jamaica.
What you say to me?
And especially our young farmers. What is happening now is a lot of our farmers are into tower farming. So, a lot of our farmers a lot of persons are using their roofs, and they are using their backyard for tower farming. That is the next turn in agriculture, landless agriculture.
But let me link that, Mr. Link that to financing. Access to financing remains an obstacle though, because for you to set up a greenhouse and to get it going will cost you. So what practical processes are RADA involved in helping farmers in this area to access finances?
Look here, if you come to a Denbigh corporate booth tomorrow, you'll see the Jamaica National inside there.
Oh.
Each year, we partner with a number of financial institutions. DBJ is one of our main partners. And
yeah, but sorry, the financing may be available, but access is another thing. How do they access it?
And that's where I'm getting to.
Oh,
So of course, we recently would have done a joint program with DBJ where our farmers was educated on financial literacy.
Yes.
And that.
Yeah, that's a great point. The RADA recently emphasized financial literacy.
Manage their business.
Yes.
That's when they approach financial institution, they would have already been educated on how to approach what are the expectations. So we have set up our farmers, over 450 farmers.
What you said?
Graduated last year and early this year from that program. We have also ensured that we have brought on banks.
Yes.
And we have worked out terms. Some of them are not like major loan facilities, but we have brought our farmers face to face with our banking institution, and we are working with them to make sure that they are available finances. The DBJ is presently working on that program, so we are seeing where access is available. It is not where we want it to be because agriculture comes with the different challenges, and not every financial institution is ready to take on the risk that is associated with agriculture.
Yes, but through the PC banks, Mr. So is there any special facility available from government or through RADA for small farmers who can access? Maybe they can't access millions, but little 50,000 to get some fertilizer purchase, something like. You have anything like that available?
Well, no, not through RADA, but what we try to do through RADA, we oftentimes through our production incentive program, what we term PIP, we soften our farmers' capital investment in terms of helping them with production incentives. So we will distribute fertilizers, we'll distribute seeds, we'll distribute chemicals, and we will absorb some of those startup costs, some of those input costs with our farmers.
Fantastic.
One second, I have to take this call.
Well, no problem. We're having a conversation here on RADA. Yeah, on RADA tonight. The Denbigh Agricultural Show is on this weekend, and we encourage you to check out the new technologies that will be available. Mr. Edmondson is saying that this government has invested a lot in agriculture. Big up there, Mr. Green. Big up. Floyd Green is the Minister of Agriculture, and Mr. Edmondson is here with us tonight talking about agriculture. I want to ask Mr. Edmondson a little bit about the 2-foot puss, as Roger Clark called them, 2-foot puss. Pradial larcency. I wonder how that is affecting. Are you back with me, Mr. Edmondson?
Back with you. Sorry, I had to take that.
Not a problem. Sir, we're in the middle of another hurricane season. Is the farming sector better prepared than it was last year? Would you say we are better prepared this year?
You can never be better prepared for a category 5 hurricane.
Well,
you can never be better prepared.
yeah, but how are we now in terms of
we are prepared.
Uh-huh.
We are prepared. We are prepared. We basically understand how to manage ourselves. Our farmers, you know, I must lift my hat off to our farmers.
Yes, that is so true.
Are very resilient. I visit farmers, female farmers that after the hurricane, a day after the hurricane, I saw their poultry houses flattened down, and I was expecting to see thousands of birds swimming in water or just lying there dead. But they convert their living rooms and have these birds inside there. They convert their kitchens, and it shows the determination, the will, the drive to succeed. And when I see these things, it motivates me as a CEO to work diligently for our farmers. So in answering you, I will not say 100% prepared, because they are just bouncing back. They are just trying to recover. I know a lot of farmers, they have not yet
recovered. Bear with us. The line is a little it's chipping in and out. The line is chipping in and out. Hello, Mr. Edmondson. Are you back? No, he's not back as yet. Asking him about the preparation of the agricultural sector to deal with the season that we are in. You know, I want to ask Mr. Edmondson when he comes back about the backyard farming. There has been discussions in recent times centered around whether people who engage in backyard farming or backyard gardening need to be registered as RADA farmers. Well, RADA has since cleared that up, but we have the CEO here tonight. We could speak on that.
Yes,
Mr. Edmondson, before you leave, there has been considerable public confusion about backyard farming. Can you explain exactly what happened and what the RADA's policy is?
The policy is clear.
Yes.
The policy is clear. The law is clear, right? Let me just give you a little bit of education on this thing.
Yes.
Many years ago, it was placed in law that you should not travel with certain amount of farm produce.
Yes.
Because we are trying to minimize predator loss.
Yes.
Now, we would have introduced the RADA Farmers ID many years ago, and we asked persons, if you are going to go into commercial farming,
yes,
you apply for the RADA ID. It's only $500 Jamaican dollars.
Oh.
After you do so, you go out and you buy a JAS receipt book.
Buy it from where?
From RADA or from the Jamaica Agricultural Society.
Okay.
We would have educated our farmers and say to them, if you sell any farm produce, you should make sure that you issue this receipt book to the individual company or whatever the trader who buys from you. On that receipt, you have your farmer's ID number.
Okay.
So when the police stop you, you will be in no problems, right? Now, we have since developed what we call the Agriculture Protection Branch in the JCF. They are doing a wonderful job, right? So a number of persons are getting stopped on the road. So I take it that some individual would have gotten stopped and got prosecuted for transporting what we deem to be commercial quantity without a receipt.
What is commercial quantity, Mr. Edmondson? What is commercial quantity?
Okay.
I mean, if I grow 2 pumpkins around my backyard and it bear well, and I have 200 pound of pumpkin, is that commercial quantity?
That is commercial quantity. That is commercial quantity.
So hold on, sir. So if I plant a seed of pumpkin in my backyard and it bear so till and it grow 200 pound and I throw it in my car trunk, so I'll carry go a Coronation Market, and the police stop me, what gonna happen?
Okay, so we are saying to persons who grow stuff in their backyard, you don't need a RADA ID, but should, in case your backyard now start to grow, start to bring produce in quantities that we deem to be commercial quantities, and all of those are published on our website.
But I'm asking you to define commercial quantity, Mr. Edwards. What is commercial quantity? Is commercial quantity 50 pounds, 20 pounds? What is for commercial quantity?
From your backyard. Because if let us say you are, as you say, a pumpkin farmer, and you plant a few seeds of pumpkin, and now you're getting 100 pumpkin after 3 months, and you want to sell some of these pumpkins, and you are traveling in your motor vehicle, the police is going to stop you, and you are going to say that you get it from your backyard. We are advising you that, hey, if your backyard is now producing quantities over which your household can consume and you are going to sell, you are required by law to now register and get your JS receipt book, because you don't want to find yourself running afoul of the law. The law is there to protect our legitimate farmers. Too often you hear a man growing crops, and then the crops, one morning he goes to his farm and crops are missing. Farmers who are livestock farmers, their cows go missing, their goats go missing.
Yes, Mr. Edmondson, please, sir. Jamaicans who simply want to grow vegetables at home need not be registered with RADA, correct?
No, they don't.
Okay, so at what point do you register with RADA? Is if your quantity becomes the extent by which you can't consume it by yourself, so you need to sell some. You need to before you go road with it, you have to get some registration.
Absolutely.
Oh.
And you'd know this, You'd know this. You'd know this because let us say your backyard is a half acre or a 1 acre backyard. We're not talking about a small Kingston backyard with just a small area, maybe a 10 by 10 area, right? Or smaller 5 by, or some pots or some tires that you grow some sweet pepper or tomato in. You have places with big backyard in Clarendon, St. James.
Yeah, but there is a misunderstanding in the society, Mr. Edmondson. Was it a communication problem within RADA, or was the policy misinterpreted? What is the problem? And can you state again the policy of the government of Jamaica as far as this backyard farming is concerned?
The policy of the government of Jamaica is that if you are practicing backyard farming, you do not, I say it again, you do not need to register as a farmer. You register as a farmer when you are planting with the intent to sell. You register when you're planting with the intent to sell.
But I have an orange tree. I have an orange tree in my backyard, and it bear like decans, and I need to sell about 10 10 dozen off for it. I can't just sell it, can't go sell it like that.
No, you can't just carry us like that.
Oh?
You know.
No. Talk to us.
10 dozen orange, 10 dozen oranges is a lot of orange.
That's not a lot for my tree at the back, my backyard door, you know. And it's it's not a big
backyard your backyard will not produce, your one tree in your backyard will not produce 10 dozen orange at any one time.
Well, it bear enough orange.
As an agriculturist, I'll tell you, your orange tree in your backyard will not produce 10 dozen orange ready to be harvested at any one time.
Okay, yes, it will come little by little.
Yes.
But I store them till them all ready. Okay.
They will spoil.
Yeah, we get you, Mr. Edmondson. Who exactly qualifies for backyard gardening program? Is it open to every household, or are there requirements?
Every household.
Every household in Jamaica.
We encourage. Remember, we're talking about food security, you know.
Yes.
We encourage everybody to get into backyard gardening. We encourage you get your pots. Even you see all these plastics that are thrown on the road, now are thrown in the garbage. If you get a little bit of soil, bore the bottom there and go to an RADA office and get a little tomato plant, a little this, and you plant them indoors in your water bottle, in your soap bottle, whatever it is. You'll be surprised to see the amount of money you save by not going to the supermarket or market. And it's healthy to grow these things. The waste that you get from your kitchen, you use back those wastes to incorporate in the soil to make it rich. So, you know, you will be growing organic products. So at this point, you don't have to use fertilizer and all these things.
Yeah. What does a kit? What was a typical backyard gardening kit include, Mr. Edmondson? And how many are available for the people of Jamaica this year? What does it typically include?
It includes some packages of fertilizer. It includes packages of seeds. It includes small gardening tools. Yes. And it may include, I think, don't want it, maybe some gloves.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's about it. That's inside there.
And how much you have? How much you have to distribute?
Well, at Denbigh here, we have 200 at Denbigh, and then we will soon be opening our online facility, online for persons to apply. Last year, we gave out over 5,000.
So is this part of the government's policy of food security, as a way forward?
It is part of the Ministry of Agriculture policy to push backyard garden to help with food security.
Fascinating. Member Harry is with me. Member Harry?
Good night, neighbor. Good night, Mr. Edmondson.
Nice, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. I just have a few questions because I want the people to get a clarity regarding RADA's role and improvement, you know, separate from the overall hands-on approach from the ministry itself. I want to separate RADA's involvement in a few things. I hear of the Minister of Agriculture speaks about RADA marketing officers. Can you give the listeners a synopsis as to what role do they play and how effective they have been over the last few years?
Sorry, I was entering a security.
Yes.
Can you repeat that for me?
Yeah, man, sure. So I was asking regarding the RADA marketing officers. Can you explain to the listeners what is a marketing officer's role and to what extent have they helped to improve RADA operation and the farmers overall?
All right, so we have marketing officers right across offices. The RADA marketing officers, they are there to one, educate the farmers on how to manage reaping crops and even before reaping crops, because our policy is that we put marketing first. Marketing drives production. And then secondly, they help our farmers in getting markets for produce. Thirdly, our marketing officers are the face of production in terms of they will organize contracts, they will organize the linkages, and our marketing officers drives into information into what we call our Alex agri-linkages platform. Now, from that platform, we link farmers with hoteliers, restaurateurs, you name it. And over the last financial year, we would have done over, I think, some $800 million worth in the first quarter. Second quarter, it went up to around 900, and I can't remember totally the third quarter figure, but they continue to boost production, boost sales, and of course we try to build out our marketing team to evolve in helping the farmers to market their products better. They do not just get themselves involved in the marketing of products directly from the farm, but also they get involved with our agro-processors. So they are there to help our agro-processors also. We have attached with them our business development officer, our rural sociologist, and our home economics and social services officers that work hand in hand with our marketing officers to help our farmers and agro-processors.
So in essence, they played a major role in the development of farming overall. And yes, I know you allude to the whole aspect of being data-driven or data-centric. Now, based on Jamaica's farming, we are unable to produce sufficient for our very own consumption, right? Right throughout a year. Plus to produce for, as you mentioned, like hoteliers, which is a tourism area. Being in this data-centric era, what is RADA's involvement in using, previous production numbers to predict demands in key sectors? Because we're looking to be more resilient, which means we also have to be forward-thinking. How has RADA improved their database now to better equip the farmers in production to meet those demands?
So sounds like you're joining the program late, man, because I would have mentioned our National Agriculture Management System. I would have mentioned us hiring data entry officers right across the length and breadth of Jamaica. I would have mentioned also.
I've heard that, but how does that get to the farmer on the ground? How do you, for example, let's say, I know you certain crops that we would need at a certain time, but how do you get the farmers to crowd in to match those demands? Because thus far, the number is showing while we're improving in terms of production numbers, we are so far away from what we should be.
I don't think we are so far away. Let us use Irish potato, for example. We had major challenges because of the large volume of production that we did this year. At one point, tomatoes was a major challenge because we could not consume. I tell you this, the Bank of Jamaica, they came out and said after the hurricane that they were expecting inflation to increase astronomically. But because of the intervention of the agriculture sector, we saw the opposite. We would have increased on production by around 12% year over year. Now, our data gathering have been helping our farmers in that we are better able to predict one production. We are better able to guide our farmers as to what to produce, when to produce, what the market will look like, what the market is demanding. So between our ABIS platform and all our digital component, these are helping us to better able to advise the farmer as to how to produce. As I said before, our aim right now is to make sure that we use marketing, our markets to drive production. Because ultimately, if you put market in front, you know what you are growing towards. 20,000 pounds, 40,000 pounds of whatever, because we have the market there. We'd have since recently asked a number of our farmers to hold back on certain production because we are still seeing where hotels are not yet back up. So we want to make sure that they do not waste their inputs and then we see glut on the market. So it is very, very important that persons understand that all our digital tools are used in the aim to inform our farmers to be better able to produce or to be better producers.
Fantastic. Mr. Edmondson, you're at Denbigh now, eh?
Yes, and I have to run leave you now.
I know. What keeps you up at night as CEO, Mr. Edmondson, before you go? What keeps you up?
You want the truthful answer?
I do. You know, Mr. Edmondson, one time, Mr. Bunting, you see, when Mr. Bunting was Minister of National Security, he said that he went to the dentist and the dentist asked him what was wrong with his teeth. And because he was grinding his teeth because he was so anxious for the crime figures every day. The minister was eating his teeth. His teeth too. What keeps you up at night, Mr. Edmondson?
I often ponders how will I impact the agriculture sector to bring us closer to food security.
Yes.
I worry a lot about even in COVID. I worry a lot about my country.
Uh-huh.
You know, I was educated in Canada. I went to agriculture school there.
Yes.
And obviously there are opportunities in Canada, and I came back exactly after school. So I love my country. When I travel across to our neighbor Caribbean countries, and I see what Guyana is doing, I see what Damrep is doing, I see what Costa Rica is doing, I see, how they have advanced the agriculture. I get very jealous. I get jealous to the point of I think maybe, I want to make sure that my time is spent positively in increasing the productivity, the production of agriculture in Jamaica. So that's what keeps me thinking day and night, how to better drive agriculture, how to make sure that our farmers, persons who want to go into agriculture, they see it as a viable means of making a living and also advancing our country.
Yeah, and forecast for me in 2 minutes or less. When you look at agriculture in Jamaica, give us an idea of where you think it will be in the next 5 or so years.
Where agriculture will be in the next 5 or so years.
In Jamaica.
I see agriculture. I see a lot of alternative practices in terms of greenhouses.
Yes.
I see a lot of filling out of greenhouses. I see a lot of processing will come on in the next 5 to 10 years. I see a lot of agro parks, which our minister is pushing. I don't know, I forget to mention our hard-working minister who is pushing a lot of the agro parks. And I see a lot of youth farmers coming on, through these greenhouses, through these hydroponics. I see also a great build out in our fisheries sector. I expect a great build out in our fisheries sector and our processing sector, agriculture sector. So, over the next 5 to 10 years, I expect to see at least anywhere in 5 years, I expect to see at least 5 to 7% growth in agriculture, and in 10 years, I expect to see that double to around 14 to 15%.
Wow.
Consistent growth in agriculture.
Wow. The possibilities are endless. I want to thank you so much, sir.
I thank you too.
Would love to talk to you after Denbigh, but we will be in touch with you, eh?
Yes, man. Follow us on our platform, RADA JM, and you'll see what we're doing.
RADA JM. Fantastic. Great, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, there you have it, listeners. That was the CEO of the Rural Agricultural Development Authority. That's the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, Mr. Garnet Edmondson. And of course, he's at Denbigh. Denbigh is on this weekend, the National Agricultural Show. And if you can make it there, fascinating things happening in agriculture under Minister Floyd Green. And of course, I don't know what is happening, but we hope that we can make some further connections with him or even with the minister to talk a little bit more of agriculture. I'm happy that he cleared up this backyard gardening stuff, because fact of the matter is that here we are thinking about, farming in our backyard, but if our backyard farming expands, then we're now going to need to sell some of it, man. Have you sell some of it? In hurry?
Well, sooner or later, neighbor. Sooner or later.
You have anything in your backyard?
Well, not my one here in town, but when I go country, neighbor, I kind of call it a backyard, I call it the farming yard.
Yeah.
Because we get to produce quite a number of things, plantains and those kind of stuff. I have gungo all year round in the neighbor. So
in Portmore or in the country?
No, neighbor, in country. So what we do is we plant a high yield for a large section, and then we freeze the rest. So, and then you give us Sunday bungo, rice and peas in the neighbor.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, that's great. The whole matter of agriculture, though, Harry, and you have spoken about this. You have studied tourism, and you know that agriculture can really drive economic growth and provide a lot of employment for a lot of people. Not true?
Definitely, neighbor. Especially, I think now for the three parishes in the west, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, and Hanover, I think they can benefit exceptionally well from this. They just have to position themselves now. Especially, I'd say they're technically ground zero, so they will have a better understanding as to what is required now and how they position themselves. I know RADA for one, and the minister coming from that side, neighbor, the Minister of Agriculture, he's pushing that endlessly, breathlessly. It's something when I speak with him occasionally, he has a passion for. And I think those three parishes, if no other parish benefits from these movements, I think they have to. I don't think there's any other choice. As tourism, as development happen, you have to be able to feed everybody. Neighbor, one of the major things they can look at is with the infrastructure that's coming, the built environment itself. On any site, neighbor, you need food, you need to cook a pot.
Yeah.
Some morning you probably need dumpling, yam, banana, dasheen, whatever it is to feed those people. And when all of that is done, when the built out is done, the end product now is different type of businesses, whether it be hoteliers, villas, everything that's linked, You do need food. And with Jamaica pushing gastronomy, neighbor, it's massive.
Yeah.
We're now looking to be one of the hub countries in the region for that. And I think people know, especially younger ones who are looking to study, you don't need to necessarily be running down the accounting and the management. You can divert into these new emerging sectors and job opportunities.
You know how much for cabbage? You know how much for cabbage this weekend, Harry?
Neighbor, I don't buy cabbage, so I don't know.
$500 a pound. Between.
But neighbor, it look like what we go pack up a show and go do like a farming. You know?
No, hold on. Between $400 and $500 a pound for cabbage, and you know cabbage is one of the number one vegetable. So imagine if you had a cabbage farm this in Jamaica, well irrigated and produce cabbage. If you had 10,000 pounds of cabbage, it would sell off. You see the point I'm making? That there is a lot of opportunity in Afghanistan and a lot of land. You know, I've been thinking that I need to go to the country, go lease piece of land and plant some yam. You know, say it's $500 a pound for yam, Harry.
Neighbor, look like me have to ask you a leave of absence and go do like a farming, you know, because
I tell you the truth, but I can't find anybody. If you can't find anybody if you work, you know, Harry, you have to go do it yourself because you can't find anybody if you work. That is part of the problem.
Well, one of the major things I've seen, and I'm happy Mr. Edmondson spoke to it, is the alternative farming techniques or methods. This is something I would have, because I studied agriculture for the greater part as well in high school, neighbor, from the geographical standpoint. And we had to do a few projects. So when we hear of, you know, the vertical farming, these would have been the which is different from hydroponics and so on. This is something we knew of easily almost 2 decades ago, that this would have been where we're going. And I didn't think we pushed it enough, that we got it to where we need to be. Because at some point in time, in a neighbor, this is how you're going to increase yield. And increasing yield, you're increasing productivity. Well, production rather. Because you can now put these plants and so on in more controlled environment without it being expensive. You see that vertical farming thing, neighbor, with the towers and so on.
Yeah.
I follow this company. I don't remember the name. I follow them on Instagram. And you can get a full-on setup in a neighbor. If you want to buy it, that is, you have another way to make it actually, which is cheaper. But if you want to buy it, it's $100,000 or $150,000 in a neighbor.
For what is that?
And you don't, for the whole setup. They'll come in, lay out all of the pipes, set it up for you with the pump and so on. So those are accessible. But what happens is that the access to this information and getting people more committed to it is where we have a problem. And I think that's one of the areas where RADA, unfortunately, I think they're stretched thin. But I think that is now where they have to push harder, and this is going to fall on the ministry as well. So that is how you get these people to do things for themselves, neighbor, and then you sell the surplus.
Yeah. Well, a little politics before we close, Harry. But let me see. There are two persons here. Let me see if I can give them a little time. Love J, good night. No. Marvy, hi. No, we don't have Marvy. We don't have Love J. Harry, the opposition is saying that the dignity of individuals are being diminished by the plaque or something that is put up in the house that taxpayers of Jamaica give to them. What do you think?
Well, neighbor, the truth, there's two ways to it. There is I'll classify it as a humanitarian way, and then you have the politics. I think what is being pushed now from the opposition is nothing regarding humanitarianism. It is the politics that they're playing. With them being irrelevant, they're clutching at straws, neighbor. because I remember when they were doing housing projects in the past, and they put things up. They let you know that, hey, now we do this. And if they didn't see it as a problem then, I'm looking at it to say, putting this up as an accountability factor, because of course the investors in this, whether it be the taxpayers or so on, want to know that, hey, we're able to identify what has been done with that level of investment. And that is one such way to do so. Now, the politics of it, neighbor, is because it takes away the possibility of misinforming. Well, I don't want to but to put out disinformation in a few years' time, right? Because what people will do now is they'll acknowledge it to say, hey, it was under this administration that this was done by whatever group it was done by, whether it be NHT or whoever, right? That will forever remain because there's physical evidence of it. But when it is not there, you can run with it for quite a long time, neighbor. One of the case in point is and this may not be the best example, but the whole epoch situation. There's nobody in this Jamaica current day before Keith Duncan spoke about it would have believed that it was not the People's National Party that did it. Right? So it shows how you can easily weaponize something or take credit for something that's not yours, which was done from an independent standpoint. So that is where the politics plays in a lot of these things, neighbor. And then remember, with these notifications, because that's how I classify them, with these notifications on these properties created or built out, what it does in a neighbor, it takes away from the argument that the opposition has, which is there's not enough houses being built and so on, right? But when people can now look upon it and say, all right, this is what it is. We're seeing the actual thing, and we have markations of it to say, hey, this was done, and we can quantify it. That's the part where they're afraid of. So once they can quantify things against this current opposition, they back off. And that's not something they want. They want to run with that narrative to say anything without any form of evidence. And I think this has taken that, what I'd say, that method from them or strategy from them to deploy. But from a humanitarian standpoint, I have no problem with it, neighbor. It is not diminishing the dignity of the people because you're adding value to their lives. A lot of people may not have had that type of housing. It would have been subpar compared to it. So I don't see how you are taking away people's dignity and so on in doing such a thing.
Yeah, I'm quite right about that. And I don't hear the people complaining either.
Definitely, but then if government wanted to give do a housing project and to give these houses, I don't see the reason for you to complain, because you're getting something probably better than what you had before, for one, something more secure. And neighbor, the most important part, not take a dime out of your pocket.
Quite so.
That we understand.
True. Today is the 30th, tomorrow is 31st. What does emancipation means for you, member?
Well, neighbor, it for me, emancipation has always been a tricky one, because I do question it sometimes, right? Because of how our history was told to us growing up, right? And to see how to this very day, it feels like the mental aspect of things, we're still in a high level of slavery. When I listen to my fellow brethren speak, and as such, it kind of doubt me at times. A little bit less now than before, right? But for me personally, neighbor, that level of liberation is one of the driving force that has allowed me personally to be where I am, to not necessarily settle, and to know that those before me fought to get it. And even though they did not get the privilege, because right now it's a privilege for where we are, make no mistake about that. And I don't think anybody should be able to challenge that. I think we've gained a lot from it, and as such, we have to continue I want to say emancipate or to get an additional level of freedom, more so psychologically, where we've been controlled in the political arena for quite a while. But for me overall, neighbor, it has been the greatest opportunity for somebody like me to know that the work was put in before, that seed was planted through blood, sweat, and tears, and I'm able to be under the shade of those hardworking sacrifices made.
Yeah. Are you proud of Jamaica's development since our independence? We will touch on that. We're talking about emancipation, but that came first. Are you proud of where we are at 64 years, Harry? Especially listening the whole arguments of the ball game of politics that still is part of our political reality. How proud are you as a young man?
I think I'm on a scale of 1 to 10, neighbor. I'd say I would want to be another nationality. I'm a very proud Jamaican.
Wow, that's great to hear you say.
Yes, neighbor.
And let me ask you, you have a tertiary education. You are not thinking of going to work abroad?
No, neighbor.
No.
No, not. Here's why. A lot of things that you can go overseas to do, you can do a lot of them remotely. So here's where the world of work is going, neighbor. High-end servicing jobs are jobs that you can do remotely. That's where the world is going. And a lot of people, and I mean a lot, especially persons 35 and under, have taken up that opportunity over the last 5-6 years. COVID has forced them to do so. And as such, the same money that you could go overseas to work, you can make that money here, depending on the field you also choose. And here's the kicker. $1 in any of those countries is $1, but it's not $1 when you're here. And that can go a far away, neighbor. So no, the opportunity would have to be exceptional for me to do so, because I still see where I can add value a lot in Jamaica. And there are a lot of gaps for those opportunities in Jamaica. It's just only a matter of time for them to matriculate into something open, wider. But as a Jamaican neighbor, I am proud, and one of the major reasons why I'm proud is, regardless as to what we know in political sphere since independence, the plot, the ploys, and so on, as a people, we've managed to not just improve and to develop, neighbor, but we've managed to still rise at times above it, to keep our name not just etched in a part of the history of the world, but to be reckoned in a lot of areas, right? For example, we're still the only country to have given the world 5 different genres of music. And for me, that is something to be very proud about. I know everybody run down the whole sports and all of that, but I find more value in that. If we look in terms of music, right, there's a reggaeton in Germany, right across Europe, and these things have been taken in terms of aspirations directly from Jamaica, in Japan as well. So the influence from a dot on the world, neighbor, on the globe, is great from us, right? A small little nation, 3 million people, still have that impact regardless of our challenges at home, right? We still manage to show up and show it and show up against a lot of major world powers in different key areas. But I think we still have a far way to go. I think we can definitely maximize a lot more. We just need to get it right.
Well, that's fantastic to hear you say. Well, member, thank you so much. We're going to have to leave it there tonight. We'll be back here tomorrow, eh? On the eve of Emancipation. Are you going to Denbigh?
I was asked if I want to go, neighbor, but We have to turn on the sun a little bit, neighbor.
Yeah, oh yeah, oh my God, yeah. I think it may definitely affect the attendance. It is really hot, really very
Yes,
very
yes,
really very
neighbor,
hot.
To be traveling with the little one as well. It would be rough. I can't tell you it would be rough, but it's something. It's not a priority, but I just might.
Well, I might too. I might just take my cameras and go there and turn it on and broadcast live.
Well, of course, neighbor. Maybe, who knows? Maybe you'll see Caroline as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that would be nice. It would be nice. Well, we'll see what happens. Anyway, thank you so much for tonight.
All right, neighbor. Always. And
yes.
Everybody on YouTube.
Yes.
Have a great night. Remember, click on the thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Everybody, because we wanted to grow the platform beyond what we've dreamt of. And we can only do so with your support. So continue to support the program. Continue to even rewatch the videos. Send out the likes again. Put it to your church brothers and sisters. If anybody going to Denbigh, the neighborites, and you're here, you can send a personal link, or you can tell them about the Hello Neighbor show and Politics Matters JA. So help us to grow as we put the information out there. And remember, this is the home of where conversation matters.
Fantastic. Well, YouTube, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll be back tomorrow. You hear? Tomorrow is Friday. Yeah, tomorrow is Friday. We'll be back tomorrow. And Saturday is Emancipation. It's a holiday. Wow. What you doing for Emancipation? Wow. Great celebration. Will you go at the Grand Gala, Independence Grand Gala? We have another holiday next week. Did you know that we never used to celebrate independence or emancipation? That was another holiday given to us by P.J. Patterson. So we never used to celebrate emancipation or Fossa August. We never used to celebrate that, but PJ brought that on. What do you think about that? Another holiday for Jamaica? Well, so you go. We reflect and we go through. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Mr. Edmondson. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, my listeners on YouTube. Please remember to support the Hello Neighbor Show. The Hello Neighbor Show comes to you courtesy of our listeners. By the way, Joyce Major. Nice. Thank you so much, Joyce. Thank you for the support and all that you do for the Hello Neighbor Show. Thank you so much to all our listeners. Our Zella code is going across the screen. YouTube, thank you for supporting us. Your support is required and needed to keep us going from day to day and from strength to strength. Until we join you again tomorrow, have a fantastic night. Okay, bye-bye. All right, TikTok. How you do? You know all right? You know good?